You're nobody till somebody loves you.
Welcome again to Nobody's Talking Politics with Gerry Ferretti. Today my guests are Traci, Tina, and Rick. Now I like this just chit-chatting like this because we are in our living room. It's not, I mean, we're doing a talk show, but we're not like, you know.
Sitting next to a
it doesn't have to be so, I think.
Do we keep our clothes on?
If you want, you don't have to.
You're more than welcome to take them off.
Naked Nobody's Talking Politics.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Could you imagine? Now that would probably
be shown.
Yeah, that would
put
get
us,
a million
you know,
hits.
and
No, you just put the black bars.
because that's kind of the world we live in,
Well,
though.
you need, I didn't wax, you would need a big...
You are all devil may care. You really are a Democrat, aren't you?
Yeah, really.
You're supposed to let it all hang out.
Whatever you want. Anything
I
goes.
love
This is
it.
cable, so well, cable. Anyway, we are here today with Traci Belmonte returning.
Thank you for having me back.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. And Rick Ferretti. No relation. No, actually, he's my brother.
Do I look at you?
You could look at me. You could look at that camera. You're not on this camera.
You need a theme song like Bill Maher.
I've been looking for a theme song. Tina Redzepi.
Redzepi. Like Led Zeppelin.
Like that. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to leave this up to you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves?
No.
Or, no, we're going to stay no profiles. We don't want to,
No, it's fine, whatever. I'm good.
Is that what you did the first time?
No, we didn't. And I thought about it afterwards and said, well, you know what? Tell us a little about yourselves. It's like, you know, the game shows of the past. You know, I'm Richard Dawson.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you going to kiss us on the lips? I'm good.
Not all of you. That's like
I'll take it.
homosexual and incest. So, and we go no on both of those.
Yeah.
She's liberal, no problem.
Yeah, that's right. How these are
Sorry.
Clinton
And so it
supporters.
begins. So tell us about yourself.
I'm 33.
Okay.
I live in Lindenhurst from Long Island. I wasn't born here. I was born in Macedonia. I'm Albanian. Always been a Democrat, and the reason, should I just jump in?
Whatever.
The reason why, I have a personal reason why I like Hillary. When Bill Clinton was president, I don't know if you guys remember in Bosnia what happened?
Yeah, I can see where this is going.
Slobodan Milosevic, the ethnic cleansing.
Mhm.
Well, they stopped it. And so that's, I guess that makes me a little biased, but that's one of the main reasons why I'm a huge Clinton supporter. So,
They got the statue.
they got the
The
statue.
statue's there.
Yeah. So we love Bill. We love Hillary.
Okay.
That's it?
No, there's more. But
Oh, you-
yeah. I'll get into
That
it.
was very moving, man. I'm gonna
I have a
cry.
Shih Tzu who I love.
There's no crying and no talking
I'm
about.
a dog lover. And I'm single.
Yeah.
So write into Gerry Ferretti if you like to date. We could do this Nobodies with politics and
This
dating.
all has a dating theme underlying.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Single Rick, what's your...
What do I tell you?
We're not single
Anything
anymore.
about yourself, if you want to talk about your...
Uh,
what do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher.
Where
Actually,
do you
the
teach?
students want me to do this too. I told them they were excited. So they, they want to see what I have to say, I guess.
And what do you teach?
U.S. history.
No pressure.
No, because now if I say something I think I know about, I'm going to...
Well, no, you probably know more about the Bosnian situation.
See, I've been looking forward to having him on the show because he knows a lot more about a lot of issues than I do, and that's one of the premises of the show is that, you know, I basically go under the notion that, and I mean this in the nicest and serious way, is that we don't know shit. People really don't know
Right.
that much
I think I
about
know
everything.
shit,
We
but-
know a little bit about a lot of things, and we know a lot about some things, but we don't know everything, and there's some things we don't know anything
No,
about.
it's like when your parents tell you you're special, but you're really not.
Yes, it's kind of like that.
We're all special, Tina.
Exactly. And the-
But again, I also go under the notion
Got
that
my
I don't
moment.
expect my politicians or leaders to know these things either. I think that they just have an incredible machine around them that makes it seem like they know a lot more. And some of them may know some things, but it's so hard to determine who knows what and who doesn't and who's just
and
being...
who's just passionate, too.
Right, and that's something that, you know, we were talking about this the other day at the Trump rally. We were talking about the passion of Trump. You know, and certain people have that, and it comes natural. You know, other politicians don't. I see when they put it on, And some people don't see that. Some people read people, some people don't read people, some people listen to words, so there's all different types. But my basic premise for this show is that I don't think there's really a voice for the people. And I don't get offended at much, but there's one thing that's actually starting to offend me is all of these people on all shows, whether it's a political show or a talk show, going around with a microphone and talking to people on the street and making and putting all the people that say stupid things on television. It's almost becoming where it's making us look like a stupid nation.
Yeah, it's like...
And I talked to a lot of people about politics, and a lot of people are saying, you know, with the terrorist situation and that we're heading towards World War III. And when you really think about it, making our own country look stupid while thinking we are also heading towards World War III is just wrong. And I'm not a political guy. You're very into politics, and you know I'm not. I'd rather sing and play my guitar. But I just feel that it's time to get involved.
Well, it's going to affect you. Yeah.
The world is changing. It's time to get involved. We're being steamrolled by politicians and liars and corrupt people, and we're just sitting back and watching it. And then you've got your entertainment establishment making us look like morons. And then on the other side, you're going, we might be heading towards war. So I just felt that it's time to get involved a little bit more.
I think other countries don't take us as seriously anymore either.
No, but we're doing it to ourselves.
Right.
You know? So, Tracy.
Oh, about me?
Second time here.
Oh.
We know very little about you.
Well, I don't like Trump at all. No. Well, my name is Traci Belmonte. I am also a teacher in my day job. But I teach health, which means I'm probably not that smart. Not as smart as he is.
We have the same education.
I am too smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-R-T.
Trust me.
But you'll live a lot longer. So.
That's true.
How do you take hot dogs?
I also do acting, writing, political punditry, and I am a makeup artist as well. Political punditry. And I like
the
it.
zombie art is awesome.
Thank you,
Oh,
thank you. So I'm trying to get more into doing makeup and especially special effects for film. I really enjoy that aspect. It's creative, and I'm a superhero in my spare time. Downtime.
Underwear?
She just trips off what she's
You go right to the gutter.
Yeah.
You should see the superhero outfit underneath those clothes.
My mom told me to be.
I can't tell you.
Sorry, Mom.
You don't have a name for the superhero?
I like to call her Polita Diva girl.
What a diva.
Yeah, something.
Now I've seen your website, your blog, and
Yep.
your makeup work, and it's all really
Thank you.
phenomenal stuff.
Thank you.
Anyway, so now we have an open floor here. We can talk about anything, but on the last show we started with Donald Trump, and it's hard not to start with him again because we just went to the Trump rally in Patchogue, which you went as a huge supporter. I went as this middle of the road, not revealing my leanings at this point, but some people say that they can tell where I lean. Let's start with Hillary and Bernie. I think that that's an interesting topic.
Do you have a pail I can vomit in?
I'm gonna get a bucket. I'm gonna throw up.
That's why we put the plant here next to you.
Oh,
so you
okay.
can-
Okay. Oh, okay.
Now,
And here we go.
I'm going to let you start because you are a supporter of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, there's so many policies that I feel like she's the most experienced, which I know is like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Experience.
No, because people always say, oh, you know, that's the first thing you say about Hillary, but she was Secretary of the State. She was First Lady for 8 years. I feel like a very successful president. Bill Clinton was, I feel, one of our best presidents.
No, because of the Republican Congress, but I digress.
I know your brain is probably thinking right now.
No, I actually don't think Bill Clinton was a bad president.
No, right. I think a lot of
I
people.
know.
He was a great negotiator. I'll give
Actually,
him that.
well, yeah, and Tracy brought up a good point that actually had me thinking. Like, I said, you know, Hillary stuck by his side when the whole Monica Lewinsky, and then you had said that there was more women, and I didn't know that, and then I looked into it, and it was true. But then I'm thinking, if she could stick by something like that, you know, when the country needs her most, whether it makes her look good or bad, she's gonna be there, you know.
serious?
She'll show the country strength.
Your thoughts on that?
My thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. You mean like her husband?
Yeah.
Well, there could be other motivations. Like,
I mean, she dealt with it publicly, something so personal.
but she could have had a motivation to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, that's true.
But she could have also done this without sticking by him.
What gets me is, and
She
there are a
could've-
lot of, now I get it, you're gonna vote for who you think is gonna represent your best interest, and if you know, like you have a little personal story
Yeah,
with
yeah.
her, and but I know a lot of females that will say, and they'll come out in a minute, I'm voting for her because she's a female, and I get that aspect, especially the older feminist type,
Oh, yeah,
that really had a struggle,
Yeah.
but, you know, she went around, she even called one of of her husband's accusers, we'll call them.
Yeah, yeah.
She even like called her trailer trash, and that was, you know, quoted, and you know, she went to one of the woman's doors and knocked on the door and started a big thing about a big fight with this woman. Like, she wasn't very pro women when it came to these women. And there's another woman, she was a young girl at the time, when she was a young lawyer, when she was just Hillary Rodham.
Right.
Her first case that she took, there was a 12-year-old young lady who accused someone of rape. And Hillary Clinton raked this poor little girl through the coals so badly, and you can look at it, and I believe the case in, the guy's last name is Taylor. I can't remember his first name, but she was making up all sorts of allegations in the briefs that she was writing to the judge. It's despicable. If you look into it, you'll see what I'm
That was
talking
when she was
about.
younger?
So this is when she was younger, and she was a 27-year-old, you know,
How
lawyer.
about,
first
you ever
case.
look, you read the internet stories about Hillary Clinton, you probably have looked into this and delved into each one of them. All the trail of bodies that have,
You mean the Vince Foster type stuff?
Oh,
right,
that's- yeah,
all of that kind
that's
of
what they
stuff.
say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
It's links that are should be in jail if there were links that were real.
How could all of those links, like when you read those,
But how could none of them? How could none of them be true?
right, that's what I'm saying, but how is she so protected and why?
Well, no, I'm saying if any of them were true, something would have happened. You
So they all
can't
just-
get away with 47 pardons, or whatever the number was when he left, and so many on Whitewater. I don't buy into that kind of conspiracy stuff.
None of it.
Almost none of it.
Any of it that you do?
You know what? In my brain, maybe.
And we need brain in this country.
But as far as reality, until things actually
Your brain is not
no,
reality.
reality is what's tangible, and
Right.
my brain tells me that the Yankees can't get a relief pitcher without it being leaked. So I don't believe that 9 people were killed by Bill and Hillary, with 300 Republicans, and nobody could get them. I don't buy it. I just don't believe it.
Right.
So I think that might have been good reason to think that they had something to do with, you know, screwing over these individuals, but paying people to kill Vince Foster, I really just don't buy it.
Is it possible for you, under any circumstances, to support Hillary Clinton? Can you find a positive in Hillary Clinton?
If I had to pick a positive, I would say that she won't destroy the country.
That's the
Stepping
best.
stone.
That's the best we got.
Yes, she's pretty moderate in the well, moderate. She's good enough in the military and in the foreign affairs, you know, in terms of like comparing her to Bernie
Right.
or I guess
He has no
a loon of some kind. So if you look at what she actually will do, I think it'll be mostly serving herself and not making radical change in too many areas that impact us long term.
It is kind of a comfort thing.
You know, like we.
It's comforting to have a leader who's not going to destroy us. That's.
Well, I mean, like if you look at her tax plan, and you know, comparing, I don't know, somebody sent me an email with all the tax, what they would mean to our pocket. I
right.
forgot where I was. We knew. I think it was one of those emails, and I think she was like a $6 loss. for
What
her.
he's alluding to is we have this email chain between my brother, myself, and a whole bunch of friends that someday should become public. It's pretty funny. And it's actually something that led to the creation of this show. Is for years he and I and our friends have been emailing back and forth from whether it's a political issue or a sports issue or whatever, and it's just a barrage of opinions thrown at each other. And no one has ever said, hey, I think I might have been wrong about that. He's right. It's just a constant butting of heads through the internet. But it's crazy. It's like 10 guys.
Put that to a blog or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's a private blog.
Well, unless you're
Right.
running for office, then maybe.
That's a factor in it. There's a couple of people who might.
You definitely have the hair for
Yeah.
it.
I have the hair for it.
Spray
I don't know
tan.
if that's a good thing, because there's not great hair in this.
Well, that's another thing I can't trust Trump.
Because of
It
his
starts
hair.
off with a lie.
It starts off with what?
Because of
With
the
a
hair?
lie.
Why is it a lie?
It's a lie.
It's
First of
ugly,
all,
but it's not a lie.
get one that looks real, first of all. Second of all, I feel like if it comes off, there's like just this open skull with all these
All right,
lines
let's get
that-
to
How
an
good
important
is
topic
Hillary's
here.
His hair?
hair?
Yeah, hair pieces.
But it's real.
Is that a hairpiece?
I don't think that's a hair.
I don't think it's a hairpiece.
Why would
It's a
you get a
bunch of
hairpiece that looks
hipsters.
like straw?
I think it's just very loose. What do you call it? Like a comb over type of look to
To
it.
keep the lies together.
The lies?
Yeah. The
The
secret.
you mean like when
I-
Hillary Clinton said that Benghazi was caused by a YouTube video? You mean like that?
Oh, Benghazi. Oh.
You mean what are you talking about? Lies?
Benny.
But she never. I mean, Benghazi.
She lied.
That's a hard one.
She lied.
I'm still confused. You're saying that the hair is a lie or he's a liar?
Forget Benghazi, let's get back to the hair.
So it was keeping his lies?
And secrets together.
Okay, so you were saying that the hair is a lie,
Yeah.
and then that's keeping the
That
other
makes
lies.
him a liar because
See, I've actually never heard too many people say
he
he's a liar.
should be proud of himself, bold or not.
You
All
think
right,
he's a liar?
that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Somebody is caught in a lie. Like, courtrooms do this all the time. We're going to discredit somebody, so we'll prove that they lied about this, which means they
Right.
can't be trusted about that. Is there validity in that?
Say again?
Say what?
If we have a witness on the stand and we're going to try and discredit him, we're going to prove that he lied in something else. They do it all the time in court, and they'll discredit that witness by showing some proof about something that he lied about.
Yeah, I don't think that's reason to make them a liar.
Right.
Everybody
It's not-
lies.
right.
There's not anyone that doesn't lie. I mean, everyone lies.
Everybody lies.
Right.
And people in government often should. They should lie. There are certain lies that should be told.
Explain.
You like it so far?
Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big jugs. I mean, your boobs are huge. I mean, I want to squeeze them. Mama!
Well, anything foreign policy, war related, secret.
Oh,
I agree. There are things
You
that we
have to-
should
you have to lie.
Yeah, we should not.
And that's part of the problem with some of the transparency arguments, is that lying is good at times. You need to lie.
Well,
But he also has a big ego. I pictured him like at a sit down with Putin and
well, all right. Saying if you were running for office and you wanted to instill fear in your enemy, and you say, "I'm going to cut off the heads of their families and do the things that they do and kill their children or whatever," and secretly you're going, "I don't have any intention of doing that." How do you make that known to the people who are going to vote for you if you're trying to instill fear in the enemy? How do you do that? Is there a way to do that? Supposing Donald Trump is saying, "I have no intention of blowing up their families, going and cutting off their heads."
even
and
he's
doing-
saying it, but he won't carry it out.
Well, let's say that's what he's doing it to instill fear in the enemy. I'm the incoming guy, and I want the enemy to think that I will do anything.
Okay.
How does he make that point to the enemy, but tell the people of America, it's not what I want to do. I don't plan on doing that. I'm just saying it to scare them and get them to back off.
Well, you can't scare people like that. First of all, I don't think.
You
You're
can't.
talking about like ISIS.
You mean like lying? Or you mean you can't scare
Yeah,
those?
Well, no, lie. Oh, I see where you're going.
You can't scare those kinds of people.
Right, both. Right.
Well, it's worth a try.
Yeah. No, it is. I guess he would have to carry it out to actually.
But do you think Donald Trump wants to cut the heads off people and kill them and torture them? Or
Yes.
you do? You think he sits home and goes, "I can't wait to do this"?
Yes. I think he's a very hateful, angry man.
Has he tortured people or done mean, horrible things like that in the last 40 years of his life that
I
anybody
have to
has?
talk to some of his employees. But
They're not coming.
No,
You think there's a reasonable chance he's cut someone's head off?
no. I think he's probably a mean boss, though.
But a lot of his employees have come out, including his personal butler, and they've said he's amazing to work for. I actually do know someone personally, their very close family member works for him, and said he's amazing, generous, wonderful, the most charming, wonderful guy you'd ever.
Yeah, I don't know any stories of him.
No.
There's no employees coming out saying that he's, or former employees.
And don't you think the enemy is looking for those people?
I'm sure that the Ted Cruz people are
why-
all over that. I'm sure.
That's why there's credibility there. Credibility is often not what is said, is what isn't.
What
It's
about
what's not there.
what is done?
Right.
He says he wants no more outsourcing jobs, right? Bring them from China, India. But your ties and shirts are made in China.
Well, that's his argument with lying. That doesn't make you a hypocrite.
And I will
You can
also,
say it makes it.
I
You
will
can
also say this,
believe it does,
supposing-
but that's
and
not.
I'm not making excuses for him, but supposing he's going, businessman Trump made some decisions that made businessman Trump more money.
Right.
But President Trump doesn't think that's the way it should be. But businessman Trump worked within the parameter. Like, he tried to have things made here, but couldn't.
But that's
and-
what makes me nervous. Is it the businessman that's telling us what we want to hear?
Yeah, but the businessman isn't telling you that you should. When he says you should make it here and not there, he's saying the policy of this country should be one that makes him do it here instead of there. And he's saying in the same sentence, if people listen effectively, the policy here isn't that. So I do it there. If I get to be president, I will change the policy so that everyone else and me
Like the tax.
make it here.
Right.
Because the cost
Now-
to do business here is way
That-
too high.
Right.
That's pretty much what
That's way
he's.
too high.
That's why I'm not.
Trump's biggest flaw? He doesn't explain it
That's
that way.
why I'm
That's
not.
right.
That's
He
why I'm
doesn't
not
do
sold on him. I'm not sold on him because I can explain
He doesn't.
things.
He doesn't know how to talk.
Is that my
He
high five
doesn't.
or hers? He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to explain.
Now I understand what you tried to say to me.
We need to get this video to Trump for the Trump supporters so that he can go. Holy
You know
crap.
what? Honestly, that's not crazy. I don't know how he hasn't figured it out yet.
Yeah, if he would take the
'Cause-
time to lay it out like
Because he
that.
can't seem to contain himself.
I would
Maybe
listen.
say, right, and why isn't that happening? And it's a flaw in his character.
But it's also he's got the
Look at
people's
me,
attention, the support.
I'm telling Trump the flaws in his character.
I wish I could
No,
advise
That's
him.
actually not crazy.
You're nobody, so,
Right,
but
exactly.
we're somebody together. So, but like when he's, it's like the things that he says. If he would take the time, just like
Think about all the debates, all the things that have been said, all the video of him. Nobody said what I just said.
no, and,
No,
it's,
not Anderson Cooper,
so
not Donald
true.
Trump.
and you just
Nobody.
opened up a chamber in here that hasn't been opened, like that kind of like.
That's why it's an amazing. It's an amazing
Just,
phenomenon.
especially someone like me that's a little on the slow side that I gotta read something 3 times. If you say it like that, like it really just changes.
That wasn't even that. You were fine.
That was pretty big. No, it was
It's not your fault. It's their
something
fault.
happened inside. And
I honestly think that the reason
not
that
quite
This is
expensive.
like an
When something's going
enlightening
on.
experience for you.
See again.
I just saw myself from outside.
I honestly think, and I'm going to give Hillary a compliment here. So that's, I know just hell froze
Make
over
sure the
right
cameras
now.
are rolling
I
and
know
nothing turned. Okay.
that, and this is the
No.
reason why Sanders is crushing her in some of the states, is because she's actually I mean, she's a lie. I mean, to me, I think the lies pour out of her mouth, but she's being honest when it comes to, yeah, I'm going to raise taxes. It's going to be $1.1 trillion in 10 years. But and her campaign is more pessimistic. Like it's being more, her message is more pessimistic. Where Bernie's is very optimistic, and Trump's is got the it's very nationalistic and optimistic. Because when I walked out of the Trump rally, I felt like I wanted to like light a car on fire and like roll it over, and, like, wave the American flag, and like.
Those might be contradictory things there.
You know what I mean? I was just so pumped and so amped and so optimistic
He does
about
do
the
that,
country.
yeah.
But that's why Obama was popular too. The hope and change theme he kept when they're more negative and more realistic, they don't get the votes. And that's why Hillary isn't doing as well as she should be doing, because she has actually being honest with certain things. That's what I'm thinking. What I see.
That's exactly right. I
I
agree
see
with you
that.
100%.
Let's take this minute to cut to one of Tracy's interviews with somebody at the Trump rally Thursday night.
Going downhill fast.
Yeah. Remember you said someone spit on you and called you.
That was at the
Bethpage.
other thing, the
I
Bethpage
still can't
one.
get over that.
And the whole Botox Barbie.
I'm not surprised one
bit. The violence was definitely coming from
See, and
the
I'm
other
thinking the
side.
Trumpers are the violent ones.
That's because the media
That's
spins
another-
it that way, which is what I want to expose.
Yeah, that's a complete.
Why is the media? I mean, I don't know.
Rick, would you care to answer that?
That's a
question?
hard one. I haven't seen any of these things. I believe that there's probably violence on both sides, but I do believe it tends to be started by, no offense, liberals.
When
Right,
you
usually.
see,
I never saw it.
like when you
They're
see,
radical by nature. The definition of the word is.
And as the person down the middle here, I will say that at the Trump rally in Bethpage, there was a couple walking with a sign that said "Racists go home," and we were next to a car with two Trump supporters that were probably like, I don't know, maybe 60 years old, and she started screaming back at them, "F you" and all this other stuff. So
That's
that was
fine, though. But the sign is fine, and so is the cursing.
right, but
I think the sign
No, the
is
sign's a
negative.
shit.
Sign
the
is
sign
very
is
negative.
negative, but I almost felt like that person in the car was a little bit more insightful.
Yeah.
You mean the one cursing?
Yes.
The sign doesn't mean nothing.
See, it wasn't. See, I saw it so
Right.
differently, and
I know
we were
you
at
did.
the same. Yeah, and I saw
Right.
it very differently because to me, the racists go home. We're not racist, and we're people that love our country, and we're not against any race at all. We're inclusive, and for them to write "racist go home" was very, to me, that's antagonistic.
It's a horrible thing to say, and it's presumptuous that you're a racist, which I think is insightful. But I also think that there's a silence, like almost like you're not going to get to me, that I prefer to see out of the supporter. That just it's like ignoring the bully and they go away kind of thing.
Put it this way: 1,000 people are walking by that sign, and 2 of them are yelling.
Yeah, it's true.
So they're the problem.
I have to say, what I'm finding interesting in this election, just because I'm trying to go to as many things as I can, I can't go to all of them that I would like to go, but I find that the Bernie supporters, they're all under 25, and no offense to you Bernie people, but you all look like you need haircuts and a shower. Like, no offense, seriously.
Like the
They really
hippies,
did.
yeah.
They really, really did. And they're all under 25, and they're these young, hipster-looking
Why is
types.
that? I always wonder why the younger crowd is.
It is a
Yeah.
good question.
Free college.
Anyway, I'm like,
It has to do with the. I think there's a setting on these cameras
Zip slip.
where you.
That's how we get hits.
making sure.
Yeah.
You're
Just 'cause they get warm.
nobody till
Yeah, they do that.
somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. You may be king, you may possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old. The world still is the same, you never change it. As sure as the stars shine above, you're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to